Good evening, viewers. Once again, I'm your host, Captain Ravi Chaudhary, hosting another live chat. And this time, our guest is Mission to Seafarers, the director, Mr. Ben Belly. And I have a surprise co host with me. Everyone's favorite, Captain Vijay, will be co hosting with me. So let's get Captain Vijay on board first. I have just sent you a request. Please accept it. Hello, everyone. Good
Hello,
evening,
sir.
Captain. What a surprise. Your,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
your fans are going to be thrilled.
I'm also thrilled as well. I just checked in into this floating hotel and Wi-Fi was there, so I thought why not join this very interesting session as a
Absolutely.
co-host. You will be leading, sir, today.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. So I think I'll invite our guest, Mission to Seafarers. Let me check if he's online. Okay, so I just sent a request to Mission to Seafarers.
Okay, sir.
So Ben Bailey, he's the director of advocacy. He'll be joining us. Good
Good
afternoon, Mr. Ben Bailey.
good afternoon. How are you all?
I'm good. I'm the host today, Captain Ravi Chaudhary, on behalf of Maritime Universe. Welcome to our live chat.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon, sir.
and
This is Captain Vijay.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. It's hello
and
to
Mr.
everyone
Ben,
from a cold but dry Manchester, which is in the north of England.
right? Okay. And Mr. Ben Bailey, this is Captain Vijay, who was not supposed to be on this chat show because he was, joining a ship. He was on his way to Singapore.
Singapore.
So he's sitting at Singapore right now and waiting to join the ship. So he had some time, so he's joining us as my co-host.
That's brilliant. So are you currently in quarantine, Captain Vijay?
Uh, yes, we are in this floatel in Singapore, and once the vessel comes at the Singapore anchorage, they'll pick us up from here.
Great. So when do you hope to join ship?
Another 12 hours, so luckily we can have a good rest before we join ship. Singapore is always hectic,
Absolutely.
as you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Mr. Ben Bailey, you are the Director of Advocacy and Regional Engagement at the Mission to Seafarers. If you can briefly tell us your, role at the Mission to Seafarers, then we proceed further.
Absolutely. So, the Mission to Seafarers, as I'm sure you and many of your viewers know, is an international network of seamen's clubs and welfare facilities for seafarers and their families. My role is to work with our regional directors. So, we have 9 regions across the world who are responsible for delivering our maritime welfare facilities. And I also have a role in advocacy where I get involved in occasional justice and welfare cases. But I also speak up for the maritime welfare sector at organisations like the International Maritime Organisation and elsewhere.
Great.
Okay.
Now we'll majorly we'll talk about the mission to seafarers, their role after COVID-19. But let's take the viewers back to before COVID-19. We all know the what wonderful and great job mission to seafarers have been doing. I mean, I quit sailing about 7 years ago, but I remember ever since my cadetship, what wonderful experience we had. Whenever the ship would come to a port where going ashore is impossible, short stay, difficult port. We cannot, call a cab, it's difficult. And to the, kind of delight of the entire ship, you peep outside and you see a nice small mini bus, waiting over there with the, mission to
Mission
seafarers
to
written on
seafarers.
it. It used to be a wonderful delight. If you can, briefly tell the, the new guys, the new children who are joining Merchant Navy, what all, also for the other people, the broadly what all a mission to seafarer is doing for the entire seaman community, seafaring world.
Absolutely. So we have a network of around 200 ports around the world where we have port chaplains and welfare officers who will visit ships when they come into port and will welcome the crew to that location. And we're really there to provide support. So for some, that will be the provision of free Wi-Fi. We might be asked to supply phone cards, data cards, so that seafarers can contact home. But as you rightly say, we've got a network of minibuses around the world, and we will provide transportation from the ship to the nearest seafarers centre if we have one, or if there isn't a seafarers centre, we will provide transportation to the local stores, the local shopping malls, for example. If the crew have longer in port, then perhaps there might even be opportunity to take them to a nearby tourist attraction or to another place of interest. But our underlying role is always to serve the seafarers, to support them when they come into the port, and to really be that sort of friend and guide and companion during their time, so that they can make the most of what life is like when they get ashore. Of course, COVID has made that very difficult and very different for so many seafarers around the world. And even though we ourselves have been hampered by the pandemic, we've actually been the only maritime welfare organisation to continue ship visiting and to providing welfare services in around 40% of our network. So we're still visiting ships, but we're doing so socially distanced. We're wearing masks and PPE, but all of our seafarer centres have been made as COVID safe as they can be. And we've also invested a lot in our minibuses so that seafarers who want to come ashore and who have access to shore leave can use our facilities if they wish to.
Oh, that's a great job you're doing. Yeah, Captain Vijay.
Sir, also you must agree with me. Like you have also seen how Mission to Seafarers has helped during your time and during my time. It was really fun to whenever we used to come to any port, and then we used to call this Mission to Seafarers, arrange for a bus, and then go to the nearby Seaman Center. They have pool, eatables. We used to enjoy, spend a time there, get charged up for our next assignment. And also, they used to take us to the nearby shopping malls, shopping marts as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I still remember those times, we would go to I mean, if they could, take us to the shopping mall, which normally they would if the mall is nearby, even if it is half an hour drive. So we would go to the shopping mall and, fix up a time, when to pick us up later on.
Yes,
We go there, do our shopping and come back home, always blessing the people. And, it was something like a service with smile. They were always so nice and smiling, and they wanted to please the seafarers. They understood the problem seafarer were going, and we would go to their, or if the shopping mall is not feasible, cannot go there, they would take us to the seafarer center. There's a small
yeah,
shop over there, pick up souvenirs, and there's a
souvenirs.
small restaurant over there, eat something. And then, in the olden days, when there were no mobile phones, we didn't have SIM cards. That time we used to make a phone call, long distance phone
Yeah,
calls to our homes.
absolutely.
So, those kind of things. And not only that, they also had a library over there. We could pick up books and bring on board. And normally they used to
Yeah.
say, exchange the books. If you have certain books on board, take it from the ship and donate it to them. And from there, pick up the new books and bring it on board. What a fantastic, a way of conducting.
Well,
And I
we've
also,
still got the books, and we've got DVD libraries, and we've still got, in our network we've got around 121 Siemens clubs, and some of them are very small. They might be unmanned little porter cabins that just provide free Wi-Fi and a place for seafarers to contact home, right the way through to much larger centres. I think of our centre in Kenya, which has got a restaurant and a bar and a swimming pool and a really brilliant view overlooking the port. So we try to provide the best service that we possibly can. But I think something that's really important to remind your viewers is that yes, we have paid staff around the world who we employ to provide welfare to seafarers, but we also have thousands of volunteers from local communities who really care about seafarers, and they want to welcome them to the port in the country that they live, and they want to just help. They're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, and that idea of a service with a smile is absolutely just something which is so important to us at the mission.
I was just coming
Yeah.
to that, the people, the locals, who volunteer to help the seafarers. I remember a few incidents, during the Christmas time, whenever we went to the port,
Mm.
and the locals, a lot of women and a lot of men who were the volunteers, they would come on board with a small goodie bag for each and every member of the boat on board. There'll be some chocolates and some mufflers, some gloves, and maybe a cap or something. It used to be so beautiful, and you felt so loved and cared for. That's a wonderful job a Siemens Mission is doing.
Yeah, well, those woolly hats are famous, and I think last year we sent out around 900 kilos worth, just from London alone, to our stations across the globe, and that will be many doubles of that number will have been sent from local stations to seafarers. So we have an army of knitters here in the UK who knit woolly hats for seafarers in all different colours. Because and it really it's the most important thing is that it's a gift, and it's a gift to seafarers to say thank you for just the incredible sacrifices that you make in transporting the world's goods and in keeping us fueled and fed. I think we all
Yes,
recognize
sir.
just the enormous sacrifice
Absolutely.
that you make, and
Absolutely.
this is our very small but sincere way of saying thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, yes,
Never had this opportunity, but I think today is a very nice platform to humbly and honestly appreciate Mission to Seafarers, because there were times during Christmas, like Captain Ravi mentioned, we used to get gifts for the entire seafarers, and it was like, a Santa Claus gift. You always hear, Santa Claus gives gift.
Mm.
So they were a Santa Claus during the Christmas times. And even now, I believe some of the mission centers, even though the pandemic, the surely was stopped, but I believe they were still functioning. And even though very few seafarers could visit them, but their efficiency and their the response, the hospitality was never degraded. It was 100% always.
That's great to hear. Thank you for that. I think, absolutely. We've tried to, as I say, tried to maintain as much of a service as we can, because we just recognise how difficult it's been for seafarers, with the crew change crisis, with the restrictions on shore leave, with the pressures of not knowing what it's like at home. For so many of you having to deal with families back home who are understandably worried about the pandemic and the fears of the pandemic yourselves. We're all living in very difficult and different days to where we were this time last year and certainly the year before. So anything that we've been able to do has been something which we've been privileged to provide. And the gifts, we try to give gifts still to seafarers. We were giving out Christmas gifts all through the Christmas period, making sure they're all wiped down and as clean as they possibly could be to try and reduce any infection. But, that joy on seafarers' faces when they get a shoebox which has got a woolly hat and some toiletries and some chocolate and,
Yeah.
absolutely.
things which are really quite small and in many ways insignificant.
But they
But
touch your
they
heart.
are sincerely meant, and they are sincerely given.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I believe during the times of COVID, now you have like in the before pre-COVID time, there used to be, SIM cards. Now you have something called MiFi, which is a personal Wi-Fi. They provided to the entire vessel. They put it on board so that the entire ship can use that. Can you tell us something more about that?
Yeah, so in some of our stages, so last year we launched an appeal with the industry called the Flying Angel campaign, and that enabled us to raise significant sums of money from the industry and from people of goodwill around the world to enable us to provide, as you say, a range of services. So we have, for example, a 24-hour chaplaincy service called Chat to a Chaplain, where if seafarers can't see a chaplain or a welfare worker in port and they want to talk to somebody, then they can visit us and on our website, and they can speak to one of our chaplains anywhere around the world. And the chaplain acts online as in the same way that they would if you were to see them on ship. If you needed to look at transportation, or if you wanted to get in contact with the local authorities, or you needed some assistance, then they will be able to assist you. But we've also launched, as you rightly say, some MiFi units. So we have quite a few now around the world in our ports, not everywhere, but in certain key locations. And these are, as you say, they set up a mini network on board the ship, particularly important for those crews that don't have Wi-Fi. And, we'll leave them on board for a short period of time, maybe a few hours, and seafarers can use it whilst they're in the mess. Or, I don't think, usually it doesn't go as far as the cabin, but certainly in the mess room,
Common
seafarers
areas.
can contact home and use it to be in touch with their loved ones.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the the viewers is asking why there are no seafarers mission in India. Captain Aki, I think there are three places Siemens mission to seafarers are there. It's Mumbai, Chennai, and one more place. I think Mr.
Yeah,
Ben Bailey
Tuticorin.
can tell us. Yeah,
In Tuticorin, down in the south.
Chitakura. Yeah,
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
down
So
Tuticorin.
there are mission to seafarers, and also if you go to their website, you get details of all the chaplains. If someone needs a chaplain, their phone numbers, wherever you can contact them on the phone, and if you cannot have them on board in the times of COVID, you can give them a call and talk to them about your problems, whatever you have. And my next question, Mr. Ben Bailey, would be, I see that uh, her Royal Highness the Queen is the patron, and Her Royal Highness the Princess is the president. If you can tell a little more about their role, how are they helping the entire mission?
Yeah, well, the mission to seafarers is 165, 66 years old this year. And so I forget the exact date, but yeah, we're around about that age. And we've always enjoyed royal patronage as part of the work that we do. And as you rightly say, the Queen is indeed the patron of the organisation. And but we also have a lot of support from her daughter, from the Princess Royal. So as our president, she will often take a great interest in the lives of seafarers and what work is going on. She will come to some of our events, and sometimes she'll even go and visit some of the seafarers centres because, as I understand it, she very much enjoys meeting seafarers and understanding their issues, and is very interested in the work of the mission and what we're doing to try and support you. And she's been with us, Her Royal Highness has been with us since the 1980s, and so coming up to 40 years now, and we're really privileged to have her as our president. She does a huge amount for us in terms of helping us to fundraise and to really encourage and support our work with the maritime community. She's a real asset to us, and we're delighted to have her patronage and her presidency.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you get some kind of a monetary support from the royal family?
Not I can't really discuss that, but no, it's not
Okay.
we're not funded by the royal
Okay.
family in that way, but they lend us their support, and that actually is far more important, because it
Okay.
means that if we're hosting an event, a fundraising event, and somebody from the Princess Royal is able to come, then that's a really good boost for our PR, for our media. And Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal has a significant platform and a significant following around the world, and so when she talks about seafarers, people listen, and when she talks about us, people listen. And that's hugely beneficial to us because it means that we can, with that support, do much more for the international maritime community.
Yes, sir.
And when you say that she goes and meets up seafarers, goes to the port, is that limited to the ports in UK or she goes all around the world?
No, she's been all around the world for us. I mean, in the years of her presidency, she has visited Australia, New Zealand. She has been in Singapore a couple of times. Last year, not last year, sorry, the year before, she was in East Asia for us. And she has been to several places around the world on our behalf, and it's been, as I say, we're hugely grateful and delighted that she is our president in that way.
That must be a huge moral boost for all of people working for
Seafarers.
the mission to seafarers. Yeah.
Oh, it is, absolutely. I mean, every year we have a Christmas Carol concert, which is the industry's carol concert here in London, and she will very often attend that event. And it's a great occasion where she has an opportunity to meet some of the staff and to give words of encouragement and support. And all of us at the mission, in London, we're a very small team, but all of us are deeply passionate about the work of the mission, deeply passionate about supporting seafarers, and her presidency of our organization just gives us that additional boost.
Okay. And Captain Vijay, you have any question? I think he's gone offline.
I think he's frozen, yes.
Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah. Do you have any kind of a message for the all the thankful seafarers around the world who are most of them who are watching us live?
Yeah, I think my first thing I would like to say is thank you. I think too often the world ignores the important role that seafarers play in keeping our world fueled and fed. People don't realise, unfortunately, particularly in this country here in the UK, and I'm sure many others around the world, just how vital the role of seafaring is, how important seafarers are to our way of life. And so my first thing to say to all of you is thank you so much for the sacrifices you make, for the service that you give in working in the shipping industry. It is deeply, deeply appreciated by all of us. I think the other thing I would say is to remind you that, the Mission to Seafarers is here for you in whatever capacity that you might need. And as I've said, we have online chaplaincy services. We now have mental health resources. And we have recently launched some programs on mental health in relation to communication and financial literacy. And we've also got a whole suite of resources, such as our Seafarers Happiness Index, where seafarers can regularly report their level of happiness on issues such as access to shore leave, access to training, access to contracts, access to education, what the food is like on board. And this is a really useful barometer because it means that when we see the results, we can take it to industry and we can talk on your behalf about why what are the problems within the industry, and we can try and find solutions for them. Last year during the index, I think we had just over 10,000 seafarers completed it, which was a massive achievement. But, we're always looking for more seafarers to take part in that. And I would certainly encourage you and your viewers to go to happyatsea.org. That's happyatsea.org. And you can visit our happiness index, and we would encourage you to fill it in on a regular basis so that we can understand the issues that you face and we can raise them with the leaders of the shipping industry.
Okay. And if you can tell something more about the Flying Angels.
What is there to say? I mean, I'm absolutely privileged to work for an organization and with a team of people across all different nationalities around the world who are dedicated to supporting seafarers and their families. In the Philippines, we have a large family network which provides support to seafarers' families. I'm hoping that next year we will be able to set up a similar family network in India, where we will be able to provide support to seafarers' families. During the pandemic, particularly in Tuticorin, we have been providing a large feeding program to help seafarers' families who have been struggling to access a constant food supply. And so we're hoping that when we do develop a network in India, that we'll be able to look at our mental health resources, at our socializing programs that we run, our communication resources that we have, and our financial literacy. The mission is an ever-evolving organization, dedicated to the needs of seafarers and their families, and it's just an absolute privilege to be part of not only the leadership team, but the teams and my colleagues who are so passionate about supporting each and every one of the world's seafarers.
That's a great news for the Indian seafarers, considering that India comprises of almost 1,200,000 seafarers.
Absolutely, yeah. We were hoping to start the work last year, but obviously things got in the way, and it's been too difficult. But we are certainly committed to providing a family network in India over the coming years.
Captain Vijay, you have any questions?
I believe, sir, you covered most of the questions, and he mentioned seafarers are essential workers of the world, but I would also, I also believe that each and every person working for Seafarers Mission is also an essential, in providing us the
Absolutely.
hospitality, the happiness, the welfare that we have seen for
Absolutely.
last 15 years, you have seen for last 35 years,
I've
and
seen for
it's a
35
dynamic
years.
process, 35 years, and it's improving with the technology, with the time, and with the modernization. They're improving with time.
Hmm.
So I just want to thank each and every member of Seafarers Mission. Thank you so much for doing your bit for us. It really boosts our morale. Doesn't matter those ports, and we go out the sea. We call the Seaman Center. We go out, have some fun, and we come back. It always gave us that happiness and from the boring, monotonous life on board the ships. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, and we've been here for 160 years, and I hope and pray that we'll continue to be here for you. So, I wish you all the best on your voyage when your contract comes up in the next week or two.
Yeah.
Sure.
So thank you very much, Ben Bailey. It's been a pleasure having you on board. And my appeal to all the seafarers that, please also sometimes, we have to, also look after the people who are looking after us. So
After us.
please donate generously to the Seafarers Mission, and in whatever way you can, and so that, it becomes a very mutual kind of a help center. And thank you very much, Mr. Ben Bailey. It was a pleasure having you here, and thank you for your valuable time.
Thank you very much. Take care and safe sailing.
Thank you so much, Sir
you
Ben
very
Bailey.
much.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming live.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
And
Goodbye,
we
sir.
are signing out.
Bye-bye.